I think there are three things. Number one, we have to continue with the reform that we promise. There are two kinds of reform. There are the small projects and the big projects. Small projects, example of small projects would be changing from GST and bring back SST. Trying to abolish toll. Yeah. Big project, parliamentary reform, election reform, democratic reform. These are huge, and these involve many intangible items, which is not easily seen, and you cannot do it overnight. It will take some time. So I think we are doing it. We are doing both of it. The small reforms are taking place. The big reforms are going on. So when people ask me, "Are you making U-turns?" I say, depending on which reform you are looking at. I think on the bigger one, we are not making U-turns. We are steadfast in doing it, but it takes time. The small ones, well, the problem is, when we started writing our manifesto, we don't have the numbers with us. So we may have calculated certain things not fully correct, because we don't know the situation, the actual situation. So because of that, we have to navigate. We have to make adjustment and so on. But the big ones, I mean the fundamental ones, but again, it depends on how people look at it. If you think abolishing toll is bigger than democratic reform, then I wouldn't argue with you. But I would say the parliamentary reform, the formation of the select committees, and the other, as I said, the building of the multiracial democracy and moderate democracy is the bigger one, yeah. And this will take time. But if you say that is not yet happening, then I won't argue with you, yeah, because this will take time, and I can't tell you, hey, this will happen, lah. And I can't tell you, brother, can you please wait? I can't tell you that. I'm just saying that we are doing that, yeah, we are doing that. But I won't deny the fact that we have problems. And even when people accuse of making U-turn, I won't argue. We had our issues, we had our problem. Number two, we have established a Jawatan Kuasa Pelaksanaan Manifesto at the Pakatan Harapan level. It is chaired by Yang Berhormat Liew Tong. They are now meeting every Tuesday. They are calling representatives from ministries to look at where we are now from the manifesto point of view. Yeah, and I think even though this is not really something that this is an internal thing, but I'm telling you, we are seriously looking at it. So what I'm trying to say is we are not running away from our manifesto. We are really seriously looking at it, each and every promises. What are the things that we have done, what we have started halfway. Perhaps there are one or two that, finally we will just have to tell the rakyat, no, this is really impossible. Yeah, we will have to admit it. But we give them some time to look at everything, where we are now, what is doable, what is not doable. Number three, and this was discussed yesterday in Majlis President Pakatan Harapan. And please, I must underline, this is not to create a feel-good kind of thing. But we have to be real. We have to admit that we didn't actually tell our story properly lah. We have been quite poor in sending out our narrative. That we admit, and we tend to improve on this one. But let me again underline the fact that when we say we want to improve our communication strategy or strategic communication, this is not about propaganda. This is not about creating an artificial feel-good, phenomena, but explain exactly. I think sometimes we did not really explain what we are doing to the extent that our rivals seems it seems that they are able to tell their story better. I think we need to improve on our communication.